that Saturn in Aries is going, who are you? Are you going to be who you said you're here to be? Or are you going to keep getting distracted? Are you going to keep deprioritizing? Are you going to keep playing small? Hello and welcome to this reading and astrology update for the first week of September 2025. This is such an exciting time. My name is Michael Edwards. I'm an energy healer and mystic advisor to affluent, creative, and visionary individuals. This is the beginning of a new series of me sharing more of my gifts with the public, so I hope you enjoy today's reading. There is a lot going on right now astrologically and in the field. This is an incredible time to take the energy and the positivity that has been built up over the summer and to really channel that into your craft, your mission, your purpose this fall. So I'm going to go more into that, but first let's pull some cards. So we're going to pull 3 cards today, one in the embrace position, one in the accept position, and one in the let go position. And we're going to see what is in store for us today. Okay, so this is very interesting. All right. This is not what I was expecting to see today. Okay, so I think I actually need to talk about the astrology first to give context to this reading today because it's kind of intense. First of all, we're in this beautiful portal. The fall is one of my favorite times because we get to experience so much of our inner world in the summer. The sun is in Cancer and then Leo. So Cancer is ruled by the moon and Leo is ruled by the sun. Cancer represents our deep emotional inner world, our intuitiveness, the soft feminine side. And then Leo, that inner light projected outwards. It's our warmth, it's our gregariousness, it's social, it's being seen and celebrated for our gift. Plus we have the Lionsgate portal. So there's this opportunity to really bring in new energy and calibrate to a new octave, a new level and standard of who you are and how you're going to be showing up and expressing. Then the sun moves into Virgo, and Virgo in the zodiac is all about shifting the focus from the self to service. And so we go through this portal in September where the focus goes from us and our emotional growth and our warmth and being seen and celebrated into service. And so whether we're doing this consciously or unconsciously, we tend to be building up new energy, new internal realities, a new version of ourselves through the summer. And then Virgo season hits and it's like this portal that takes us into service. And it's why I think if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, this is when we have back to school. A lot of people have that back to work energy. The summer is over. It's also a Q3 or Q4? I guess it's Q4, right? It's the end of Q3 and setting us up for Q4, which is one of the most profitable times for a lot of businesses because there's this beautiful energy of service. On top of that, we have Saturn. So Saturn is the planet of discipline and devotion and structure. And it's also the planet of manifestation and bringing things into our material reality. Saturn can bring what seems like a challenging energy, but it's really inviting us to commit and double down and build structures and devotion around what we want to create. So Saturn has been in Aries for a lot of the summer. So Aries is all about the self. It's the singularity. It's the version of me that goes first, that leads from my mission, that doesn't ask questions, that doesn't hesitate. And so there's been this invitation through the summer to really raise your personal standards. What I've been seeing with myself and clients is a lot of things that don't fit our life anymore falling away this summer. So relationships that are no longer in resonance with who we're becoming, work things, different habits or people or situations, even substances that we tolerated in our field. That Saturn in Aries is going, who are you? Are you going to be who you said you're here to be? Or are you going to keep getting distracted? Are you going to keep deprioritizing? Are you going to keep playing small? And so we've had this Saturn in Aries energy really supporting us in raising our personal standards and moving into more self-discipline. And this is wonderful discipline. So if that word brings up something negative for you, it's devotion, it's deliciousness. It's I get to choose and commit to what I really care about. So today, September 1st, Saturn is retrograde and it is retrograding backwards into Pisces. And this is like chef's kiss, because Pisces is all about the dream. It's our mysticism, it's our spirituality, it's us living the full expression of what is possible for us. It's the dream, the potential that's seeded into your consciousness, into your soul at birth. It's connecting to that dream. And now it's interesting because Pisces and Aries both have this kind of opposition. So Aries in the shadow can be very almost blinders on, very in the 3D, very pushing, forcing, hustling, not considering the bigger picture, can kind of lose sight of that. And Pisces, when we're in the dream, we're in that spiritual magic kind of energy, can lose connection to groundedness. So Pisces in its shadow can be very ungrounded. So with this back and forth tension between having Saturn in Aries and then Saturn in Pisces, there's this opportunity to kind of harmonize the energies of both. So one is with Saturn in Aries is bringing the devotion and discipline and structure and raising the standards to ourselves, the way we show up in our personal lives. But then as Saturn moves into Pisces, it's also touching the dream, the big vision. And it's saying, any parts of you where the masculine and feminine, the spiritualist and the CEO have been separate, have been at odds, have been in alternate realities, there's an invitation to bring those together and to connect to the bigness of your dream and bring devotion, discipline, and structure into that so you can bring it into your physical reality. We also have this similar tension in Virgo season because in the season of each sun sign, there's a lunar cycle where there's the new moon that opens the sign. So we have the new moon in Virgo, which plants the seeds for this energy. And then you have the full moon in the opposite sign. And so Virgo is also opposite Pisces. And there's this beautiful balancing that gets to happen in September between the dream and service. And there's such an invitation right now. If there's anything that you've been dreaming of, a version of your life that you've wanting to call in and create, a next level that you have been aware of and tuning into, but not actually bringing into your reality, this is the time to do it. This is the time to focus and use the universal laws in your favor. So create order in your environment, create order in your energy, create order in your mind, order and alignment with what you want, and create order and alignment in your choices and actions. This is the time. It's like wind in your sails. The energy has never been more on your side for you to bring your big vision, your big dream into reality. And this is also an invitation during this time, and this is what the reading says, which I'm going to get to in a second, is not to play small. We want to be playing so big. Okay, the cards. So first of all, in our reading today, we got 2 cards from the suit of Pentacles. So Pentacles is Earth. It represents our material success, our material abundance, our material growth. So it's very aligned with what I'm talking about in the sense of this is the season to grow professionally in your gifts, in your career, in what you want to manifest. So in the embrace position, the 4 of Pentacles, and the words on this card are possessiveness, insecurity, frugality, saving money, security, conservatism, solid investment, guarded, long-term security. It's the energy of the sun in Capricorn. But in the context of this reading and this time astrologically, what it actually represents is us buckling down. So I'm going into this season that I call monk mode, where I shut everything out. It's all about my health and fitness. It's about building my business. It's about moving forward. It's very focused time. So any frivolous spending or frivolous use of your time and your energy, it's not the time for that. It's time to conserve your resources financially, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and channel them into what it is that you want to create. Leo season has ended. That was the time of parties and celebration. Now we're moving into this season of focus and discipline. In the accept position, and this is really interesting because this is the kind of the central card of this reading, we got the Tower. This is, I don't know if you can see this on the screen, I might have to find a better way to do this, but in this card there's a tower and it's on fire and being hit by a bolt of lightning, and the tower is collapsing. So this is the card of collapse, can be calamity, of things coming to an end. The words on this card are sudden change, upheaval, revelations, awakening, destruction of old foundations, disaster, trauma, chaos, radical shifts. and it's the energy of Mars and fire. So in the accept position, in the context of today's reading, what this is really saying is it's inviting us to let go. It's inviting us to release what no longer serves us. And as I said, this is why I had to talk about the astrology and the summer and the energy of the summer before I fully went into this reading, because there has been such an invitation and opportunity for us to raise our standards and let go of what no longer fits over this summer. And so if you're holding on to any grief, or you're resisting that, or you haven't allowed that process to take place, this is saying, let go. It is time to accept that what no longer serves you is going to fall away in your life. This is a big thing that I work with my clients on, and it is just part of the universal mechanics. So first of all, the vacuum law of prosperity tells us that there has to be a space for something to go. So if you have something in the way, right? If you're in the wrong relationship, there's no space for the right relationship to come in. If you are working with a kind of client in your business that's not your dream client, there might not be space for that dream client to come in. If you are entertaining friendships, relationships, situations that are not a match for who you see yourself as, there's no space for that to come in. So we have to make space for what we actually want. My foot is cramping. Oh, hello, sir. Would you like to join me? Yeah, you go there. That's perfect. Okay. He's still mad at me for leaving and going on vacation. Okay. Vacuum law of prosperity. And then also law of vibration, which in many ways is the number one universal law. Law of vibration, everything is vibrating, and like attracts like. And so one of the mistakes that we make is we go, I am calling in this next vision of what I want, of who I want to be, of this magic and this level of success that I want to create. And then we start to shift into that. But what happens is, as we change vibrations, so say you're here, you're at this vibration, everything in your reality is a match for that. So you're comfortable with that. Even if it's discomfort, you're comfortable with the discomfort because that's what's normal. Now you start to raise your vibration as you start to attune to the reality that you're wanting to create. So you first attune energetically, and then you start to have access to different thoughts, and then that can ripple into your choices if you choose. Once your vibration starts to shift, you will notice a change in resonance. So people, places, situations, things, habits that used to feel normal and comfortable will no longer feel normal and comfortable. And sometimes that comes with a great deal of pain. That can come with family relationships, friendships, situations, things that used to bring you joy that no longer do, negative self-talk even. All kinds of different things can come up as you move out of resonance with the old vibration and the old self. And so this comes into our experience through the law of opposites as contrast. And the mistake that a lot of people make is they look at this contrast and go, oh no, I'm asking for something good and now I'm getting everything bad. That's evidence that it's not working. No, 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 no. It's the opposite. It's evidence that you are shifting and everything is working perfectly. And in fact, part of you becoming the version of you that you're calling in is to hold that contrast as the new self, not the old self. So if the old self would collapse or go into frustration or self-betray and take on other people's stories, other people's energies, other people's projections on you, then the invitation is to hold that from the new self, where you're sovereign, where you're internally defined, where you're moving from your authentic power and your authentic blueprint. And it's going to feel uncomfortable because it's different. Our survival mind is wired to take us back to what's familiar. And so if we always go back to what's familiar in the face of contrast, we never hold the discomfort that we need to go through to build the muscle of actually being the version of us that we're becoming. And so the Tower card in the accept position is saying, let this process happen. Don't resist. Don't be in friction. Don't try to hold on to things that are falling away. And finally, this one's really interesting. In the let go position, we have the Page of Pentacles. So again, Pentacles represents our material wealth, abundance, success. And the page is this card that has real optimism. It is this young person going out on a new adventure. And so they are a student of life and they're really optimistic and hopeful, but they also don't have the wisdom and kind of this seasoned energy that we see with mastery. So it's very much the beginning of a journey. The words on this card are manifestation, grounded, ambitious, gift, goal-oriented, financial opportunity, planner, consistent, loyal, faithful, and messenger. And so this might kind of seem confusing because in the embrace and accept position, we have these cards that have a seemingly more negative tone, but in the let go position, we have this really positive card. What this is really saying is let go of the beginner energy. Let go of being a student. Let go of acting like you're a small fish in a big pond. Let go of acting like you don't know who the F you want to be. This is the card that says no more contemplating, no more dipping your toe in the water, no more procrastination, no more seeing the big vision and then choosing step one or the thing that seems safe or normal or reliable. You came here to be massive. If you're listening to this, you have a huge dream inside of you and huge potential. You're probably already pretty successful. That is who I speak to. This is not a channel that promotes mediocrity through spirituality. My space is about promoting excellence through alignment and success through authenticity. So you know that there's something in your mind's eye that is so freaking big. And this card is saying, stop playing small. Stop doing the safe thing. Stop doing the thing that gives you predictable results. The limited conscious mind always wants you to go back to what you know, but what you know will just net you the same results you've gotten in the past. Predictable path, predictable thoughts, predictable results. And so this a lot of the times is when it seems like we're stuck in a loop of the same results or the same experience over and over and over again and again and again. It's not that we actually are, it's that we keep recreating the past because we keep using the logical limited mind, which takes the past and projects it onto the future and tells us that's what's possible. And so we feel like we have to act in accordance with that, but it's not the truth. And this is where the Pisces energy comes in. You're meant to open beyond your limited logical mind into the field of consciousness to receive the downloads, to receive the insights, to receive the intuitions, which will be reinforced by synchronicities and signs if you ask for them and you watch for them in your physical reality, and then to take action on that with courage. We need to live above the vibration of fear and act from courage, at least neutrality, because we've got to be over that threshold of downward momentum. And we get there by being in at least neutrality. If you are unfamiliar with this or you want a conversation on how to live above fear, I will link a video where I did a talk about living in love and courage and above the vibration of fear. So you can watch that video by clicking the link on the screen. This is new to me, so I don't know where it's going to be. It's going to be somewhere. But either way, ask yourself this. The Saturn Aries energy has already been asking you this energetically and unconsciously, even if you've not been aware of it. Are you going to become who you know you can be? Are you going to become who you've declared that you're going to be? Are you going to think about it and dream about it? Or are you going to actually do it? It doesn't mean going into hustle and grind the old 3D way. That's not what this time and this energy is about. In fact, it's about a greater harmony between the two. And so if you're like many of my clients and you've been this overachiever and you've built incredible success, but it's been through this paradigm of sacrifice and burnout, and you've maybe found respite and rest or spirituality or more spaciousness, and you feel like you can't have both, right? It feels like this pendulum swing between I've got to grind, I've got to hustle, I've got to push, or I can find this sense of peace, I can find this sense of spaciousness, but then I drop all the material achievements. That's not how we're meant to live. That's not full integration. And this is part of what I do, is initiate people into what I call the third way, which is the harmonization of both. But that's what you're meant for, and that's what this season is inviting, for you to be the version of you that takes care of yourself, that's spiritually, mentally, emotionally healthy, and that is holding the vision of who you are, who you're becoming, and what you want to create, and bringing that into your reality through your devotion and your actions. Just seeing, are there any other messages in the field that want to come through? I don't think so. I think that's it for today. If you are interested in joining us online for a live lunar activation, you can go ahead and check out the link below. It's completely free to attend live. I'd love to see you there and share in the energy. It's always beautiful when lots of people come. We really get to tune in to this and make these deep energetic and unconscious shifts and align more deeply to who we really are as we unwind the patterning and the conditioning of the past and release any old unhelpful, unsupportive energies. So I'd love to see you there. If this is your first time catching me and you want to experience more of this, please like, share, and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. I'm really trying to get my channel to 1,000 followers and also to monetize so that I can take the ads off of my meditations, because people complain about that all the time and I have no control over it. I'm also going to be starting doing this as a regular series where we have energy updates, we talk about the astrology, and we do a reading. So make sure you hit that bell so you get notified next time there's a release. My name is Michael Edwards. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sending you so much love, and bye for now. Bye everyone. Trunks, we crushed it. We crushed it.